Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of RichardMetalFan interviews. This is episode number 34, and today's guest we're talking to Tomi Joutsen. He is the vocalist for the Finnish metal band Amorphis. We're going to be talking about their upcoming album Halo, which comes out February 11th through Nuclear Blast Records. Talking about like the writing recording process, songwriting, lyrics, a couple of album anniversaries, and playing live, and much more. So, without further ado, let's go talk to Tomi. So what's up, guys? I am here with Tomi Joutsen from Amorphis. Tomi, how are you doing today?
I'm fine, thank you. Here in Finland, it's winter and it's still, I can see the sun, so pretty okay.
Yeah. I heard here in Georgia, where I'm at in the U.S., I heard that we're supposed to get like snow tomorrow, which is going to be insane. So I guess you Finns kind of like bringing the snow here to the U.S. So basically, you got the new album Halo, which comes out February 11th through Nuclear Blast Records. Can you talk about the writing and recording process and all that good stuff?
Well, it was complicated, so to speak, because of this Corona situation. We had a plan to do things the same that we did with previous album, but then this pandemic thing happened and we had to change a lot of things. The original plan was to record stuff in Sweden, but we had to change the plans and the album was mostly recorded here in Finland. Actually, Esa Holopainen, he was the only one who really traveled to Sweden. And Jens Bogren, the producer, he also had a plan to fly to Finland and do some stuff here, but he was at the airport and he wasn't able to come here. Something happened because of this Corona thing. So he didn't come here to record anything. So I also recorded everything in Helsinki, and actually it was okay instead of traveling to Sweden. And yeah, it took lots of time, of course. I don't know how many months we worked with the album, not every day, but still it was a big and long thing to do. But when I'm listening to the album now, I'm really proud that we managed to do a good album again.
Awesome. And so the first single you'll have out is The Moon. Is that a clear representation of what the entirety of Halo is going to sound like, or is there a lot more sounds and different elements of you guys that are to be discovered?
Well, the first single is always the most radio-friendly song, and so it doesn't give any picture of the album. It's really progressive, and there are lots of death metal elements and difficult, really demanding rhythm sections here and there. So The Moon is a great song, but it doesn't give that good picture of the whole album. It's nice and catchy song, but there are lots of things to come when you're listening to the whole album.
All right. Would you consider this just picking up where you left off after Queen of Time, or is this almost kind of like a new beginning for Amorphis in a way?
It's not a new beginning. After so many years in business, I think it's impossible to have a new beginning. But we just wanted to do a solid album, and people who composed music, I think they just tried to do interesting music. We don't have any great plans when we start to work with the new songs. We just compose things and trying to create a good quality music, and this is what happened with this album too.
All right, and like with I'm being a big fan of Amorphis. I feel like you guys incorporate so many different elements. You have death metal elements, progressive elements, folk elements, and I feel like with every album, I'm almost feel like I'm listening to a different band in a way. So, do you always take like a new approach to every album, or is there almost kind of like a formula that Amorphis sticks with?
I think we have found some kind of formula doing things, and the formula is really wide, so to speak. We can do lots of different things inside Amorphis, and it's really nice because we are not locked in some style. Of course, the basic is the roots are in death metal, and I'm really happy that you can still hear it from the latest albums. There are some parts that could be from year 92 or something like this, and but somehow it doesn't sound for me too crossover music. We don't have any rap parts, but yeah, it's nice to play with music. It doesn't have to be so serious all the time. And if you have some riffs that makes your smile, it's a good sign always. And of course, you have to take your music serious, but you can also play with some ideas and having fun.
All right. Was there any like preconceived ideas making Halo, or was there a lot of like trial and error improvisation that along the way?
We just wanted to concentrate and do things properly. And when we are working with Jens Bogren, you know that something really strong is coming out from this team. And I don't know, after releasing 15 or 16 albums, it's really difficult to do things. But in Amorphis, luckily we have many people who can compose music, which is a great thing. And actually, Tomi Koivusaari also composed some stuff, and also Olli-Pekka Laine composed also a couple of songs for this album. And it's great that there is just not one person who is composing stuff.
All right, and I imagine now with like 14 albums in, it's got to be like harder to put like a set list together when playing live.
Yeah. But it's I think it's a positive problem. It's nice to have different styles, so you can really create interesting set list, not just playing old school death metal all the time. You can pick something different, and you can play slow stuff, maybe more up tempo stuff, and nice.
Awesome. So as a vocalist, do you need to hear music in order to come up with lyrics, or do you usually have like a lyrical concept in mind and that can help determine the composition of the music itself?
Well, the guy who is writing lyrics for us, he always has a free hand and free hands, and he creates lyrics without listening to music. And when we are arranging our music and the lyrics, it's always like a journey somehow. And but it's weird how well our music and the lyrics fit together, and it takes lots of time and lots of arrangements to get these things work. And the lyrics are always really inspirational, and they give me lots of emotions, and it helps a lot when you are in studio. I really hope that people find some interesting emotion from this album too.
Do you tend to leave lyrics open to interpretation, or do you try to like engage the listener into what the songs are about?
Well, I'm just trying to concentrate my own emotions, and I'm trying to like close my eyes and trying to really find something that touches my soul somehow. And it takes time, and you just have to open yourself for something. I don't know what it's called, but maybe instinct or something like this. And sometimes it's really easy. Sometimes you really have to push it out, and it's nice that you have a producer who can help you with rhythms and stuff.
Okay, could somebody's own like interpretation of the songs could help look at yourself differently as an artist?
Yeah, of course. And as a man, sometimes it's really hard to be open and emotional. It's not that easy for a man, but for me, I'm just trying to be honest, trying to give my best, and that's all I can do.
All right. Hey, and you guys have been around for a long time, and and this year, you weren't on this album, but this year marks the 30th anniversary of the debut Amorphis album, the Carillion Isthmus. And I probably know the answer to this, but I'll ask anyway. Is there a possibility you guys might do a celebration of that album?
That would be fucking awesome because I love the album. I guess we don't have time for that because of this Corona situation, and we have to concentrate for this album, of course. But would be nice to play. I think we haven't played the whole album ever together. We have played Tales a couple of times. But
Still my favorite album.
Yeah, but would be nice to play also Carolean Isthmus.
Yeah.
Album. It's a fucking classic, if you ask me.
Yeah, and I was supposed to actually see you guys play Tales about 2 years ago, but before all this bullshit happened with the pandemic. Yeah. So maybe 30th anniversary in 2024. Fingers crossed.
Actually, I think we played Tales album in Maryland Death Fest a couple of years ago, and it's fun to play entire album in a way if it's a good album.
Yeah, and another anniversary because this year marks the 15th anniversary of Silent Waters. I mean, I was only, sorry to make you feel old, but I was like 13 years old in 7th grade when that album came out.
Okay.
But I feel like how has the band's like songwriting have evolved from Silent Waters to now Halo?
Well, with that album, we didn't have like a real producer. I worked with Marko Hietala from Nightwish, but he was producer for the vocals only. And I think the music at this point, it's more powerful in a way. Some of the songs with Silent Waters era, they might be a little bit too slow. And so I think this at this point we are maybe more powerful in a way, so to speak.
Awesome. So back to the lyrics. Is there like your personal life sort of like play a role in it, or is it kind of like an escape from yourself in a way?
Well, I didn't wrote lyrics, so I cannot speak about that. But I think I can find myself in some lyrics, and of course, when I live here in Finland, I really can find those landscapes and emotions when I'm reading the lyrics. And somehow this album, even though it's really progressive, it's really Finnish album in a way, because there are really melancholic parts, really beautiful parts here and there, and you can find some elements from the nature, which is really important element here in Finland also. So I think lyric-wise, this is really 100% Amorphis again.
Awesome. And going to the live show, is there like a similar energy playing live as to opposed to recording, or is it almost kind of like two separate beasts altogether?
Well, of course it's different. When you're on stage, you have only one chance to do it, and in a studio you can do it fucking 100 times. But there's a beauty doing things on stage. You just have to trust yourself, and you have to live the moment. And of course, you are trying to find some things from the audience also. If the audience is really into your show, you get lots of energy from the people. Sometimes you can see something weird things happening in the audience, and it might you might miss your thing on stage, so to speak. You start to think something else than the songs you are playing. But I really love to play on stage, and it's great that we are still doing club shows, because I like the feeling, being really close to the people and really see the reactions and emotions that people are making on the audience. Sometimes when you are playing in a huge rock festivals, you just see just a big mass of people instead of just seeing some guy crying somewhere. So I really like the stage and in festivals.
Awesome. Or
yeah.
you're saying? All right. So like adjust like when playing live, because I know you played like so many with like different variety of bands. You played with like death metal bands, black metal bands, folk metal bands, progressive bands. Do you ever have to like adjust your set list depending on the tours or festivals that you're on?
No, I think usually when the festival season starts, we are trying to do like all around set list. We have songs from the past and also new songs, and we have a like tech guy and we have some stuff coming from backing track like orchestration or stuff or something like this. So we cannot change the set list that often because we have some technical stuff here and there. Everything has to be well controlled. So it's a little bit boring, but at the same time we can do great quality shows no matter where we go. And that's the thing when you are playing in a big band like Amorphis.
All right. And I've noticed you played with a variety of different bands. Like I was sort of like late to seeing Amorphis. Only seen Amorphis twice. First time I saw you all was in 2018 with that tour with Dark Tranquillity, Moonspell, and Omnium Gallium. Then I saw you all in 2019 with the Delay Lane, which obviously those are Dark Tranquillity, Delane are kind of like almost two different bands stylistically. But do you ever like notice like a different crowd reaction depending on the tours that you're on?
Well, it depends. I think in stage it doesn't matter that much what bands you are touring with. But I think in Finland or in Europe, it's more important than all the bands are metal, so to speak. And it's nice to have a great variety of music when you are touring, because seeing 4 or 5 black metal bands in a row, it might be too much for some people. So it's great that the openers are a little bit different than the main band. And sometimes we have some ideas about openers, but mostly the ideas coming from booking agency, and we just have to live with that. And but it's great if you are touring with a band who you really like, and we have played, as you said, with different bands, and it's fun to get to know with new people and with new music.
Awesome. And I got two more questions for you. And you ready for the hardest question of the interview?
No?
How do you know when a song is done?
Uh, I don't know it, because mostly when we are recording stuff, we are doing it in parts, and I'm not doing the final mixes, so I just trust the guy who is producer and doing and who is mixing the songs, and I just have to trust his ears. So I don't know when the song is ready.
All right. And the final question I wanted to ask you is coming from Finland. I feel like Finland obviously is like one of the metal capitals of the world. I feel like Finland is such a diverse country because like Amorphis doesn't sound like Nightwish, or Nightwish doesn't sound like Children of Bodom, and or Winter Sun. I just feel like, or Ensiferum. I just feel like Finland has like so much to offer. So was there like a scene in Finland that you all felt part of, or was the goal for Amorphis to like get outside of Finland and play in front of like different audiences and countries and stuff?
Well, there is a really strong scene in Finland, and it's great that if we have like rock festivals, there are always a couple of metal bands, and the underground metal here in Finland, it's also interesting, and the black metal scene is really strong also. So we have different kind of bands here, and I think people outside Finland, they really respect the Finland music scene, and lots of great bands have come out from Finland during the years, and actually people say that if they hear a Finnish metal band, they can say that this is from Finland. I don't know if there is some melody lines or how they can tell it, but somehow Finland has its own metal sound, which is great, and we are really proud of that.
That awesome. It's like kind of like here in Atlanta, like so many like we have a diverse scene. Like a band like Mastodon is different from a band like Seven Dust, or there's band different from a band like Cloak or Paladin. I feel like Atlanta and almost Finland almost kind of are similar a bit.
Oh, that's great to hear.
Awesome. So before we go, I just want to thank you so much for this interview. It's just anything else with the
I think we are done.
release for
Great.
the spring, just knocking on wood that happens.
Yeah.
So is there anything else with Halo you'd like to promote?
Well, I think this is enough for me.
Awesome. So Kitos, everybody, Tomi from Amorphis. We'll see you next time.